I want to start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Report of any executive sections,
We're not held.
public comment. Just quickly, I just want to say this quick. Go ahead, Jeff. I just want to say, there's, going out there to reassessment, I guess there's some companies sending out letters about if you recently, about, pay $127 to get your deed and trying to make it look official. We just want to let people know that this has nothing to do with the county, nothing to do with the reassessment. It's just if you record a deed, they automatically, I'm sure you got these, Jeff. Here, look, it's
The company actually exists,
and it's legal, but they charge you $127 for a deed. You can go right down here and get it.
it's confusing during reassessment. It's a company that has a post office box in the UPS building down in Lingelstown. And what they do is they basically ask you, do you want a copy of your deed? Yes, it's $127.50, well, you can get one for $2 yourself, so it's.
Yeah,
And it's just, the problem is during reassessment, makes people confused, they think they owe a bill to them.
it looks like,
Right.
so.
So don't fall for that scam.
All right, Jeff Dunkel, Palo Alto. People are getting scammed enough with this reassessment, they don't need that. Still nothing on Lisa Stevens. I guess Mike's busy celebrating yet. Teresa, still nothing on her. It's funny though, she could spend 12 hours at a polling place and go to a victory party and be out drinking again, celebrating that, but can't come to the courthouse and earn her $96,000 a year salary and benefits package. There's people struggling right now with this reassessment to be able to pay their bills, pay their prescriptions, put heat in their house, and pay their taxes. And this reassessment's coming down the pike, and they're struggling. The amount of people that I get calling me, and I know you guys do too, but how can you sit here and allow her to blatantly not come to work and get paid for that? She's out all over the place. It's nothing, if her husband's ill, I wish him the best, but she's not by his bedside all day Tuesday. She's not there when there's campaigning. She's not there when there's a victory party. So she needs to get her priorities straight, and she needs to resign. So if you guys don't want to do anything, the commissioners can. He's going to open an investigation. He's going to ask OPEC to do an investigation. And he's refused to do it. And he's just sit on your hands and allow her to take advantage of the taxpayers. And honestly, it's ridiculous. I don't know how he's going to allow it to continue when there's people struggling to pay their bills or put food on their tables or feed their kids. It's absolutely disgusting. I want to congratulate Sean Butler on a good race for sheriff. Some people in power, including Teresa, thought that she was going to endorse him and I was going to endorse the opponent and I was going to help, and that backfired. So she should have stayed home or came to work. Today we're rushing through an immediate request approval for raising the tax rate ratio from 50 to 100%. I know you're going to give me the millage breakdown nonsense, but again, this is something I brought up and told you it was never voted on in a meeting. It was done improperly. Why do I have to keep coming here and telling you guys what yous are doing wrong to get it fixed? According to Tim Barr, who hasn't been here since all these letters went out conveniently.
He's going to be here at this last meeting, and then I also asked him to come to the night meeting.
You should be coming as the people are coming in with questions.
I know, but he's coming to the one at the end of this month, and then I asked him to come to the night meeting.
He told me directly that the RFQs were sent out with 100% based off that paper. So I don't know how we're going to an immediate vote today to change that when the RFQs were sent out improperly. So I think it should be looked into. It's a violation of the Sunshine Law. I don't know if these solicitors want to agree with that or not, or if I have to file for a violation of that, create another lawsuit. Maybe we'll get an injunction. Maybe if we'll delay the whole process if that's the case. I have some lawyers that are willing to, if people chip in a couple $100 a piece, we can get an injunction and stop this whole thing. And you guys keep putting the cart before the horse with all these things, and you don't realize what you're doing. So this should have been voted on a long time ago, and it's not. This is directly impacting the people 100%, and now we're going to push it through after he's already snuck it through in the RFQs. I just don't understand. And there's dozens of people that don't have their data verification forms, and there's dozens of people that don't even have their valuation forms. I don't know how you expect these people to do their homework, look things up, and do any sort of appeal when they don't have the paperwork. and they call, and I know for a fact you spoke to one person that spoke to me, and they're speaking to that office 2 or 3 times, directly 2 or 3 emails, and no response. And it takes them having to contact one of you guys or somebody else in this building to get some work done. So this company they just hired is actually, I mean, obviously you didn't do your homework because they changed their names, and I know you didn't, but it's just ridiculous.
Any other public comment?
Morning, God bless you.
Good morning. No, that's a cold cough.
Cough.
Larry about cough.
No.
Okay, my name is Susan Reed. I'm from Pottsville. First question I have for you is, what offices do you oversee here in the courthouse?
Tax preliminary assessment.
Excuse me?
Tax preliminary assessment.
Just the tax office?
Well, both tax offices.
Okay, there are 2 of them here, okay. Okay, and what parameters do you have set for the people who work here to have things completed?
I don't know, what do you mean? Like, they're,
Their accountability?
whatever their supervisor tasked them to do, they should accomplish.
Okay. I was in the tax assessment office the first week in May to have them update the owner of my property, which I owned for 25 years. 25 years. And they have yet. They didn't update it. I don't know why they didn't update it when the deed was signed.
You know?
Well, that isn't good productivity.
Chrissy, do you?
Where are you looking at to see if it was updated?
I was on the parcel lot.
Okay, because for the last month and a half, we were not able to do the deeds in our live, and that's where it's pulling from. So if you go over to the office when this meeting's over with me, I will personally look at it for you because I called and left a message for you.
Yes, you did.
And I will look at it, and I'm almost gonna bet that it's updated in our system,
Yes.
but it was not pulling over to the camera system that you could see it.
Did you call Chrissy back? Because I remember when you brought this up. and
No, I did not, because
Okay,
I went and I looked
Okay.
myself again. I had someone else look it up for me,
okay.
and it
That
is
is-
now under,
Then
Like
I had
this-
I had the head of the office contact you to try to fix your problem, and you didn't call her back. So when we're done this meeting, go with her over to look at it. to
she
fix
did
your
fix
problem.
it.
Oh, it is fixed now?
It is fixed. It took them 2 weeks to fix it though.
Well, you gotta remember, we're only a staff of maybe 7 over there with 2 clerks, and we're dealing with all of the reassessment calls along with assessment calls.
And doing their normal job on top
Yes.
of that.
Okay, well, after
So it was
last,
fixed, okay,
it is fixed.
okay.
My problem is that it took it so long. 2 weeks, that to me is unacceptable.
Okay,
When I was working, I didn't have 2 weeks to send my billing into the government system.
okay.
I had to get it in that day or the day before, you know what I mean? Okay, I also called over the vision office to see why I didn't get a new assessment paperwork. They gave me some lame excuse that it was the post office's fault. That's not true. That is not true. I spoke to somebody in the post office, and it's the vision's fault that the assessments didn't go out. Because they had the wrong return address to begin with. They had it as Pottsville. They're over in St. Clair.
No, they were here in Pottsville. They just recently moved to St. Clair. They still have an office here in Pottsville.
No, I don't know about that.
Well, yeah, they do.
They still have the office down there.
They still have the office here in Pottsville.
Most of the
Is it a
staff
P.O.
is over
box?
there. Most of the staff is over at Thing, but they still have that building.
Okay, but the office here in Pottsville, is it a P.O. box or?
I assume so. I don't know.
I would assume.
However they got their address.
Okay,
Time, Susan. 3 minutes.
excuse me?
Time, 3 minutes.
You can finish your statement, go ahead.
I still have more to go over though.
You can finish your statement.
Okay. Who decided to use this vision company?
As far as I know, they put a group together of people to put out an RFQ. And then that group
It was two companies.
was two companies that put in a bid, and then that group made a recommendation to the then sitting commissioners. And then I guess the commissioners ultimately had the ultimate say on if it was Tyler or Vision. That was before I was elected.
Is this company, the company that messed up Luzerne and Lackawanna County's assessment?
No, Lackawanna County is Tyler. I don't know who did Luzerne's reassessment. That Lackawanna County's Tyler. That, are you talking about the one that's going on right now?
Yeah.
It was on the news. That was Tyler. That was the other company that bid on it.
Okay, and how much are we paying this company?
$7 million, I think it is, or is it 7.5? Yeah, 7.3 million,
And that's total?
yes.
Ooh, that's a lot of money. I wish I had that kind of money.
So do I.
Cause like, you know, you're at the point right now that you're pushing me out of my home. You are pushing me out of my home. My county taxes went up $56, but I have no idea why.
Well, when we do the homestead exclusion that we're doing, that's in this thing today, your taxes go down, I think it's $80. So then your taxes will actually go down a little or stay the same on the county level.
Mine went up 56,
Yeah,
so
but-
then it should be going down more.
When we do the homestead exclusion, which takes
Yeah.
$20,000 off the value of your home,
Huh?
it'll drop about $80, cause it's 4 mils roughly, so then it'll go down. It'll go down a little bit,
Okay,
okay?
and then after last week's meeting, I called Vision again.
Okay.
To ask them, when was my assessment paperwork supposed to be sent out to me?
Your data verification number.
Whatever it's called,
Okay,
the assessment paper.
yeah. your
That's
data
still,
verification.
as of today, I do not have.
Okay,
He said it was to go out on the second mailing. Well, we're into the fourth mailing by now, are we not?
yeah, I believe so, I think the last mailing
Ah.
was this week, right?
Yeah, the last one's going out this afternoon, and that's some commercial and some
It
mineral.
is some residential though too, the ones that there was mistakes on and issues with are going out this last mailing. So Chrissy has your information, you can talk to Tim, ask, see if we can get her data verification number, I don't know why. So, okay, so, let's, I will,
Okay,
public comment.
Did Vision ever give you a reason why they're having so much problems?
No, they didn't, no, they wouldn't tell us why they're having problems,
Well, I'm gonna tell you why. Cause they're doing shoddy work,
okay?
okay? They never got an updated listing of Schuylkill County of what properties were still standing erect and what wasn't. They've got a problem with people who live in the outskirts of, outside of Pottsville, who were at a P.O. box number, and then they changed to a residential number.
Okay.
So that's a problem right there.
Okay,
I mean, Marlin's one of them. Some people over in Marlin have a P.O. box number.
yeah, in New England, that's how we are. We
So-
have a PO
some
box,
people
we don't
have-
mail delivery.
Some people have a mail delivery where it's
No,
residential.
we don't have any mail delivery.
And that's where Vision didn't do their homework. Now, you're gonna pay them $7.3 million? And they're doing shoddy work?
Susan, it's your time now.
So, okay, thank you.
Sorry.
I don't like being timed.
I don't like
I'm
being
an
yelled
old
at.
person, I should have all the time in the world.
I don't like being yelled at either.
I'm not yelling, I have a cold right now, so therefore I can't hear. So I don't know how loud my voice is.
I can assure you it's loud.
Okay, well, I'm sorry.
Let's move on.
Have a good
Any
day,
other-
gentlemen.
Have a nice day. Go ahead, George.
Morning, George.
Now we know Linda's problem, she has a cold every week.
George Stankovich, Palo Alto. Once again, there's just one voice that spoke out now, worried about losing their home. And I'm telling you, that is not just the only person, there's gonna be a lot of people. This vision, they don't have vision. That's what the problem is. Because when they look at a piece of property, they don't take everything into consideration. I don't care if they have aerial views and stuff like that. Every situation, I want them to come up on my property today and walk across. And you know what? They'll need boots to get across my property. Now, that's not my problem. It is my problem because I have to live there, but it comes off the mountain where there was old shafts, coal shafts. They fill up, and when that fills up, look out. Anybody that lives in Palo Alto knows when that comes off that hill, look out. Look out. They finally got up, my borough finally got up. I didn't even mention it. I wanted to see how long it took them to clean the rocks off the road that you have to travel up to get to my house. It is so ridiculous. As far as I'm concerned right now, the borough of Palo Alto should give me money to live where I'm at. That's how mad I am. And I'm telling you, the streets of Pottsville, I know you guys don't have nothing to do with it. I know what you're gonna say, but they get tax money. These streets are terrible. One of the worst, not only in the county, but in Pennsylvania, in the United States. It is ridiculous. Money going out each and every day, taken out of these poor people's pockets, and nothing's getting done. Nothing. We'd rather get a free gift from another country and worry about that nonsense. That's what our federal government's doing for us. And I'm telling you, it's just so ridiculous. And you brought it up. You brought it up. Me and you have the same increase. You brought it
Well,
up.
mine's more than yours. You said you went up, what, $89?
56 bucks.
56, so after the homestead exclusion,
Yeah.
your taxes will go down.
I'm telling you, mine,
Your
they're
taxes will go down.
telling me I already have it.
No.
And I
No.
never,
If you have it for the
school.
school district, the county can only do a homestead exclusion during your reassessment.
okay.
So if we put on the homestead exclusion that we're doing, the $20,000, you'll save $80 on your bill.
Wow.
So your taxes are.
Wow, that's gonna save me.
It is, it's staying the same or going down.
Okay, that's gonna
It's
save me.
staying the same or going
Okay.
down. If you don't think that's a savings, George,
Okay.
then that's on
And
you.
what's gonna happen to the school tax coming up
Well, listen,
this time?
I was taken to
right?
task because of a comment I made to Jeff about school districts.
Hmm.
And I wasn't specifically talking about any specific
Yes.
school district, in Schuylkill County,
Yeah, I know you want.
that, I think our school districts are doing a good job. But this is what people are most fearful about during the reassessment, is what the school districts are gonna do.
Darn right. And
That is. I
What I wanna see is you have nothing but businessmen on that board. Nothing but businessmen. I'd like to see average Joes, half of that committee, to be average Joes that are struggling. And I guarantee you, the purse strings would be pulled. We'll see where every dollar goes out. This is ridiculous. It's gonna be outrageous. We're not gonna be able to afford this. I'm telling you. I don't know what can they increase it?
They're capped by Act One by.
Yeah, was
I
it
don't know what the percentage
2 or
is.
3%?
Is it
Each-
2%?
Each school district has its exact,
There's a different percentage.
And I'm telling you,
Act One, but each school district has a different percentage that they're capped at, that they can raise it in a given year.
And-
then they can get an exemption.
yeah, and then that 2 or 3%, you think that $80 isn't gonna disappear? Huh. You gotta be kidding me.
No,
You gotta
I
be kidding me.
understand. They're two different tax.
I'm just telling you guys, this is what's happening. Average Joes get looked over all the time, all the time. If I made a part-time job, excuse my language, and I don't care if you're taking the money or not, $65,000 for a part-time job, give me that job. Give me that job. This is ridiculous. I'm telling you that people, honest people that paid all their lives are losing their homes right and left. And all we do is say, well, what are we gonna do about it? It's ridiculous.
Any other public comment?
Morning, Doug.
Maybe I can get my earplugs in after, before she goes. Doug Litwiler, Union Township, the reassessment is a little boots, and maybe you can answer this, because I'm sure a lot of your places are clean and green. Did yours go up, your clean and green?
Yes.
Does anybody know why? Because I've asked for 2-3 weeks now, nobody knows why the clean and green is going up. My taxes would have came down, but my clean and green went up. So how does that,
You got to go to vision and,
they don't have an answer.
all of my taxes went up. My buildings, my house, all my land went up.
Chrissy,
So
hey,
Uh, I asked her, she doesn't know either. That's why.
I couldn't give an
Well,
answer
the
on
clean and
that.
green current value is based on a number that's provided by the Department of Agriculture.
that's what
We had, the original one was from 1996, and it's the state sets them for every county. So the division has to take the numbers that the Department of Agriculture provides them.
and that's what the calculations are, that's what I
Yeah,
understand.
'cause under the old one, my taxes should have been 3,300, but I paid 1,900 for clean and green. Now, my taxes would have been 3,100, but now my clean and green went to 2,900, so pretty
It's
much.
based on the increase that the state is assigned to our county.
All right, that makes sense.
For the
At least somebody had an answer.
For the land, that's what I understand it as.
Right.
And I'm not an expert on that.
Ag land and forest land is set by the Department of Agriculture for each county, so.
Thanks for the answer.
You're welcome, sir.
I still don't understand how my property, which is probably from here to Roma Pizza Way, maybe closer to another property that sold for 540,000 2 years ago. They got reassessed at 333,000. How did their property go down $207,000? And then mine went up. It's probably like triple what theirs is almost.
And you know, I've talked to you about this, to appeal.
And I'll take it to their, I'll take it to their house and my house, and then their house is definitely way worth more than mine.
During these formal appeals, you can bring other information that you can't.
All
usually
they'll
bring.
talk to you about is your square footage. They won't talk
No,
about
that's the
it.
informals, after July first, then you
But
have.
they said that guy last year, Tim Barr, said in informals you could talk about value then, and now all of a sudden he changes his mind.
Well, I know for a fact in the formals, they will take into consideration, like I said, when you and I talked about it, if you had a realtor and they did your comps, they'll accept that, and it's 3 years.
Yeah, I
not
should just
3
be able to go and
months.
say, you guys assessed this guy's house at 333, mine's worth just as
Well, yeah,
bad or
that's what I
less.
would do, I would do a comparison, you know what I mean? I'm encouraging anybody that thinks that their value is wrong or too high to do the formal appeal. But it's not as, they'll take into
But that's something they should do
consideration
during the informal
appraisal.
appeal. I mean, that's like, just look at it. If two similar houses that are,
Yep.
the way the bird flies, probably less than a tenth of a mile, and
But
they're
what
gonna
I'm saying
say
is, you
one's
go
3
in
times more than the other.
and do the formal appeal, get the comparisons, if you have something for your realtor, if you like I had a guy in Schuylkill Haven, he literally just bought his house in February, has the bank appraisal. And they appraised it, they gave him a loan for exactly what the house appraised for. Vision has the house valued at $60,000 more. So I said, go in, do the formal appeal and take that in and say, I just bought the house in January, February. And that'll be taken into consideration. You know, it's not as, you're allowing to bring in more information to these type of appeals during the reassessment than a normal appeal process on a yearly basis.
Long process.
Yeah.
Alright,
So that's what I would do, and I told you I would talk to you.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate it. I was just wondering about the clean and green thing, but, and the other thing, I see, Sharon's here. She's about the one that shows up every day for work. You guys set the salaries. Why can't you just do an hourly salary for the row offices or lower it to a part-time? I mean, if they want the benefits, let them have the benefits, but pay them 25 grand a year, so the county could save a lot of money if they don't wanna come to work. I mean, Chrissy's, salary, right? Is she allowed to just show up when she wants? Why can't she and why can the other ones?
She's a county employee, she's not a row officer.
Once again, the elected official.
So salaried people, she could work 50 hours a day and not get paid anymore and not get any extra time off, but the row officers and their first deputies could just show up when they want.
First deputies are not public officials, they're county employees.
The first deputies are.
There's a lot of first deputies that don't show up all week either.
1620, Larry.
That's always the answer, 16,
But
20.
that's.
But you guys are oversee all this stuff,
We oversee it.
and
but
you're on
we
the
can't-
salary board.
Like, what I'm saying is, like.
Well, it set the salaries at part-time wages, right?
yeah,
There's 3 of you.
Only
How many
once
people are on the
every
salary
4
board?
years, every 4 years.
Okay, in 4 years, why don't you just lower them all and see what happens?
Time drug.
I mean, they talked for half of my time.
I took that into account.
Okay, Dave, I'm almost done. I haven't come for 8 months, so
Go ahead, finish.
You
your
don't.
statement.
I'm not talking
All right,
loud.
I'll accept that argument for another 10 seconds.
Okay, 15 ordeal.
Negotiate.
Now I forgot what I was gonna say, so I need 30.
I'll see.
But
The clock's
just
ticking.
set them down to part. If they want to be part time, set them to part time. There's no $60,000, $50,000 part time job anywhere, and if there is, I want 2 of them. But when you guys set the salaries, you should sit down with them and say, hey, you guys, we know you don't come to work. This is what we're gonna do. There's no reason you can't do it. Northumberland County did it a few years ago. Their commissioners get 30 grand a year. All right, I think that's it.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Yeah. Don't have a cold, do you? Sorry.
Don't do
I
that.
couldn't help it.
It's uncalled for.
I couldn't help it.
You'll find out. You'll find out if I have a cold or not.
She's not loud, she's passionate.
Yes, but it's loud right here.
Morning, Linda.
Morning, y'all.
Good morning.
Melinda Divert, North Manheim Township. I would like to say congratulations to all those candidates who were successful in Tuesday's primary election, whether that be county-wide positions, district races, municipalities, school boards, etc. Congratulations. As I stated last week, I wholeheartedly endorse Marty Sowers for the district judge race in the 21-3-04 district. My husband, Dapper, and I are honored and humbled to have been a part of Mr. Sowers' campaign. Marty, his wife, Dion, their children, Reagan and Jake, and their entire family, friends, extended network conducted that race with the utmost in integrity and honesty.
You caught. Sorry.
Excuse you. They didn't resort to dirty politics, last-minute slanderous assaults, etc. They put in the hard work, they pounded the pavement, and knocked on the doors of the people of that district. They made phone calls, they did everything which should have been considered necessary to have won that election. And again, did not resort to dirty politics. Marty and Dion Sowers actually won the hearts and the votes of the people. They can hold their heads high, and I believe that God tends to look out for people like that. And I wish Marty and Dion the best going forward in whatever, if they decide to get into politics again in the future, or if they decide not to. I wish them the best going forward. Okay, change of topic. Solicitor's office. You know it chaps my hide when I see this immediate approval requested. Why? This is a work session meeting. Anything that is brought up at a work session should not be voted on till the following week's board meeting. Approval to direct the solicitor's office to prepare and advertise for further consideration by the board an ordinance in conjunction with the county reassessment and revision of taxes to establish Schuylkill County predetermined ratio at 100% of the new appraised property valuation. And I guess we're gonna look to establish this county homestead exclusion. Wow, okay, maybe a day late and a dollar short, but better late than never.
No, wait, Melinda.
Okay,
No, wait, hold on. Don't yell. You can only do it during the reassessment, the homestead exclusion, so you can't do it any.
That's not my problem.
Okay, but
I'm
you said
talking
it's a
about the
day-
100%.
wait,
Hey,
hold on.
you guys
Hold
did the
on,
wording
hold on.
here all
You
together.
said that it's a day late and $1 short for the homestead exclusion. You couldn't do it any other time. So you did a reassessment.
We couldn't have done it in 96. They just
Well,
came
I-
out with that win.
I guess they could have did it in 96. I wasn't here then. I was just graduating, like, out of high school a little bit. So in 96.
Oh, really?
I don't
Okay.
know if they could have did it then, but like now, you can do it. So it's something, I know you think it's insignificant, but it's something to try to help the people. If you have a $20,000 mobile home, you will pay no county taxes. If you have a $40,000 home, your value will be cut down to $20,000. Yes, he's taking the time. Melinda,
Okay.
I let you go over every week.
Well, some of us go over a lot more than others. But anyway, I would suggest, have you guys read the statute on this? I would suggest that you hold off
This is just.
before you
this is just
take a vote
advertising.
today. You might want to
This
rethink.
is just giving the motion to advertise the ordinance. It's not adopting the ordinance.
Larry,
So you can
Larry,
advertise it.
let me ask you, do you know what was in the RFQ that went out?
The RFQ.
How were they able to advertise or put out there in the RFQ 100% if that had not already been voted on? Because there is at the very least a Sunshine Act violation
Okay, then file
that
it.
we have people behind closed doors making decisions. We're going to do it however we want to do it, and we're not going to take action at a public meeting in front of the taxpayers and the people of Schuylkill County. So, how was that put into an RFQ or an RFP, whatever you want to call it, back then, without that decision already having been made by the Board of Commissioners? How was that done? I'm questioning that. You might want to look into the legalities of that because I'm starting to question the qualifications of our county solicitor's office. So I would recommend that you not take that vote today until you look into that a little bit more closely. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? I'd like to move on with the meeting. Children and youth. Morning, Carl. Hey, Carl. Good morning.
Morning, Commissioners. Carl Rumble, Children and Youth. We have 4 items today. First is an agreement with Huffman Homes Incorporated out of Littlestown, Pennsylvania. This agreement would have the term July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2027. They offer psychiatric residential treatment at a per diem $506.21. Clothing and personal maintenance at a per diem of $5. Their shelter care program is at a per diem of $450. And their transitional living residential services are at a per diem of $888.99. We have 3 additional agreements, each with term July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026. First of those is Psychological Associates of Schuylkill County, LLC, Pottsville, for counseling services with rates as follow. The brief screening is at $425 per unit. The forensic assessments, psychosexual assessments, mental abuse, or bonding evaluations, each are at $150 per hour. The polygraph testing is at $410 per unit. Individual and family counseling is at $100 per hour. Group counseling is at $40 per session unit. Mandatory training is at $195 per unit. Next, we have an agreement with the Children's Home of Easton, Pennsylvania, for community-based residential services. Per diem rates as follow. Residential is at $331.26. The shelter program is at $383.05. Group home is at $354.30. The Zygmunt Hall Specialized Setting Program is at $590.47. And they also offer foster care with per diem rates as follows. Level 1 is at $136.90. Level 2 is at $200.69. Finally, we have an agreement with Kobe's Family Services of Leola. They offer foster care services with per diem rates ranging as follows. Basic program, ages 0 to 11, is at $82.70. Same program for age range 12 to 21 is at $93.23. Enhanced programming for ages 12 to 21 is at $131.20. And their specialized level of care for ages 12 to 21 is at $185.02. COBIS also offers for us kinship support services, training programs available for foster parents. They are the trust-based relational intervention course is at a unit fee of $6,000. Their core teen course is at a unit fee of $3,000. The workshops are at $390 per session, and individual consultations are at $380 per unit. Excuse me.
Thank you for the failures.
Morning, Cheryl.
Good morning, Commissioners. Today I'm requesting permission to advertise for a CDBG park project in the borough of Schuylkill Haven. Bids will be done via pen bid and must be submitted by 9 a.m. on Wednesday, June 11th, 2025, at which time they will be opened. Next, approve a revision to the 2021 CDBG program, moving $7,559.53 from the West Penn demo line item and $24,325.47 from the West Penn Housing Rehab to the West Penn Zion Grove ADA line item. Approve a contract for $5,500 with M&L Associates for preparation of an emergency solutions grant application. Award a contract in the amount of $17,344 to Affordable Construction and Demo LLC for a demo project at 50 to 52 Westwood Street, Minersville. This project will be funded by Minersville Fire Escrow of $7,700 and CDBG funding of $9,644. Approve a contract with Alfred Benishon Company in the amount of $9,800 for engineering services for the Shenandoah Street Improvements Project on North Jordan Street. Approval of change order number 1 to a CDBG contract with Pro Max Fence Systems LLC for $538, increasing the contract from $53,016.80 to $53,554.80. This is for additional linear feet of chain link fence. Approval of change order number 1 for $1,200 to a CDBG demo contract with Affordable Construction and Demo LLC, increasing the contract from $19,444 to $20,644. Finally, approve resolutions to adopt the following updated plans as required for the Schuylkill County CDBG program, 504 grievance procedure, and fair housing resolution.
Cheryl, where's the fence project, was that located at?
That was the Northward Park in Tamaki.
And the change order for demolition, LLC?
For, that was in Gerardville.
Okay, just curious, that's all.
Thank you.
Those existing projects?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Juvenile Probation Office?
Morning.
Morning, Commissioners. Today I'm requesting authorization of a space available agreement between Schuylkill County and the Board of Commissioners and Central County's Youth Center, by and through its governing board with an office in Bellefonte, Pennsylvania. The term of the agreement shall be for 1 year, commencing effective date of July 1st, 2025, and continuing until June 30th, 2026. The standard per diem rate for detention space for each juvenile shall be $595 per day.
How many detention centers are left out there?
Not many.
Not many at all,
Commissioner,
right?
no. Most
I
of
know
the
there's been a shortage.
ones that are out there have been bought up by other counties for reservation beds, so it's kind of difficult for us. But, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Further alcohol?
Morning.
Morning. We just have one item, approval requested for an addendum to the contract with Center for Community Resources to increase the contract cap from $234,429 to $237,305.11 for fiscal year 24-25, and this is to cover the cost of purchasing furniture for the recovery center.
Engineering?
Good morning. I'm requesting approval to advertise for bid for the Schuylkill County Emergency Service Training Facility to be located at Fireman's Road, Frackville. The bids will be received with 4 separate prime contracts: general construction, plumbing, HVAC, and electrical. The bids will be received by the Controller's Office at the courthouse until 4 p.m. local time Monday, June 23rd, and open at the Commissioner's Boardroom at 9 a.m. on June 25th, with a tentative award date of July 9th. And there will be an on-site pre-bid meeting on Friday, June 6th at 1 p.m.
Prison?
Commissioners. We're requesting approval for an intergovernmental agreement with the Northumberland County Jail for housing of Schuylkill County inmates at a rate of $72 per day per inmate, with an additional $5 per day per inmate for any inmate that has disciplinary segregation status for the term of May 22nd, 2025 to December 31st, 2026, which may be extended annually for up to an additional 3 years. The fee for extension is to be negotiated upon expiration of the initial term.
I have a motion, we'll put that in.
So moved.
Second.
Any question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
and Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
If I might want to say so quickly, I want to give a pat back to Commissioner Fedora. This came about as we were working with 911 negotiations with the Trumbull County, got a discussion with commissioners, and found out there was actually some room in their prison. Now, we still have to pay to have these people taken care of, but we are hauling to State College. It's a lot better job for our sheriff's deputies to be able to move that close as opposed to, it cuts the trick on quite a bit, so congratulations, Larry, for asking that question and pursuing that contract. Thank you, sir.
Treasurer's office?
All right, Leah.
Good morning, Commissioners. The Treasurer's report for the month of April 2025 had an ending balance of $94,540,966.24, and that includes all accounts.
Thanks. Conservation District, Boots is gonna read that one.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Whatever next page here. This is on behalf of Kelsey Brown, who's out of the county today on a training mission. Approval of the agreement for sale and purchase of an agricultural conservation easement between the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the County of Schuylkill jointly in perpetuity for a total purchase price of $291,100, in which the county contributes $65,000. The agreement of sale is for the Newswanger Farm, Ivan and Darlene Newswanger, number 1 farm. The parcel numbers are 34-13-0026, 34-13-0028, and 34-08-0123, consisting of 145.55 acres in the township of Wayne.
Thank you. Solicitor's office?
Good morning, Commissioners. On behalf of the Solicitor's Office, we seek approval to direct the Solicitor's Office to prepare and advertise for further consideration by the Board an ordinance in conjunction with the county reassessment and revision of taxes to establish the Schuylkill County predetermined ratio at 100% of the new appraised property valuation, and also to establish a county homestead exclusion not to exceed $20,000. Commissioners, we would respectfully request immediate approval.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
and Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
And Finance officer,
We have 2 budget adjustments that are posted outside the door.
Town administrator?
This is on behalf of Human Services, the block grant programs. Approval is requested for the following 4 rate agreements for the period July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026. The Schuylkill Transportation System is managed by the Schuylkill County Transportation Authority in St. Clair for the Medical Assisted Transportation, or MATP program, and the Human Services Development Fund, HSDF. Transportation with a rate of $46.25 for one-way trip for the MATP trips, rates ranging from $3.40 to $5.95 for one-way trip. For senior shared ride trips, and rates ranging from 55 cents for child bus ticket to $79 for a one-way trip over 25 miles on an escort for HSDF trips. Second, Goodwill Fire Company, number 1 Minersville, for a medical assistant transportation and HSDF transportation at a rate of $130 per one-way trip. Next, Culture to Culture, doing business as Blue Sky Transportation in Pottsville for medical assistant transportation at a rate of $47.30 per one-way trip. And Penn Casher Pottsville for an after-hours phone answering service for the MATP with a rate of $125 per month, up to 100 calls, and 45 cents for each call exceeding 100 calls per month. And a prevailing rate for Verizon for long distance calls.
Okay, thanks, man. Human resources,
Good morning, Commissioners. We have two items. Motion is requested for both. They're in the prison. The promotion of Orlando Verona Castillo to lieutenant at the rate of $80,000 effective 5/19/25, coming from correction officer full-time, and the transfer of Noah Leafy, correction officer full-time, at the rate of 23.0730 effective 5/19/25, and that coming from a part-time correction officer. All appointments pending drug test and physical where appropriate, and all actions involving salary or more positions being created pending salary board approval. That is all.
I'll make a motion for the two prison requests.
Second?
any question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes,
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
and Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
any new business?
Motion adjourned.
Salary board, approve any executive sessions,
There were none held.
public comment for salary board?
Jeff to Uncle Palo Alto. I know you said the salaries get adjusted every 4 years. When is the next time that they'll be adjusted?
By the end of next year.
The end of next year?
Prior to elections, they have to be approved.
Fall of 2027.
Okay. Fall of 27 or 26?
27, not 26, 27,
Fall of 2027.
The year prior that you run.
26.
It'll be 26, right? Okay. Are you three on board with adjusting the row offices to make them part-time like they're being treated?
Probably not, no. We have row offices that work really hard for the county. So if you do it for one, you have to do it for all. I don't know if we can pick and choose.
Yeah, I think you can.
Okay, well,
And I think some of these offices can be joined as well.
the pathology and clerk of courts can be.
Right. I think there's a lot of wasted space here, but, so you three aren't on board with adjusting them to make them the way they're being treated?
I have no comment this time.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Are you guys on board with holding the people accountable that are in these offices to come to work for the $100,000 a year package that they're getting on the backs of the taxpayers?
What we're permissible to do under 1620, under the Pennsylvania.
See, that's the excuse that you guys keep using.
Jeff,
These guys keep passing the buck, but you allow, hang on, but you are allowing, you guys have things you can do. And if I have to get you a list for next week, that you can go forward, your solicitor can recommend things that you guys can do to get them here to work. It's just 1620, 1620, that's all you keep
It's an
saying.
elected position.
But you keep allowing these people to abuse the power and abuse the office.
The people keep getting elected to those offices continuously. What do you
Well,
say?
I wonder why. Look at the people that you are supporting. You know what I mean? You and Teresa are out campaigning.
No, I
That
wasn't.
worked
I
out.
didn't campaign at all because we oversaw the election.
And you know what? No, not that day, but you campaigned for somebody up until, and look where that ended.
No, I didn't campaign at all. I
Oh,
didn't fundraise.
Oh, you didn't support
I
DeMarco.
support Frank, because Frank and I have been
But you were
friends.
publicly on record
No,
supporting
wait,
him, so
hold on.
that campaign.
Hold on, Jeff.
I
No, Jeff, I'm allowed to stop you and make comments.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, as long as
Technically-
I give you your time back, as
Okay.
long as I give you your time, yes, I
Make sure you
can.
get my time.
Frank DeMarco and I have been friends. We went to high school together. Frank DeMarco's family bought off my business.
Okay. I don't
They
need
have
it.
a tailor shop in Tamaqua. I've been friends with him my whole life, right? He told me way before I even met Sean Butler, before I was in the courthouse, that he was gonna run. And I told him, I have no problem with Sean being sheriff. I have no problem with Frank being sheriff. But Frank has been my friend since I've been a teenager.
Yeah.
And so that's why, he's a friend, and he supported me during the primary, he had my signs up at his business. After
I'm aware.
Bullseye won, he had our signs up, but I'm just saying.
Right.
It was a friendship thing, it's not nothing to do against Sean Butler, I think Sean will do
And
a
I
good
have
job.
I didn't say anything against Sean Butler. What
Yeah.
I'm saying is, you were campaigning for candidates as well. So that's what and you were formally
I was support-
endorsing
I endorsed
people.
him, yes, I
Right,
did.
right. So then you did campaign for somebody.
Yeah, but I wasn't like working a poll or nothing, cause I can't.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
So, again, we're not holding these people accountable at $100,000 a year. When I pulled in here this morning, there was 6 elected officials that are getting a $100,000 a year package 6 at 9:40 that were not here. 6 of them. It's a disgrace, because some of them don't come in at all. Some of them, their deputies don't come in at all. It's mind-blowing the amount of money that you people are allowing when you have people coming here on the verge of losing their homes or can't pay their bills, and you guys allow that and just say, 1620, I can't help it, the voters decided. No, you guys gotta step up to the plate. You gotta get the DA to investigate it, turn it over to the Attorney General, and let them come in and do it. If she can be out campaigning and drinking and partying and going and doing whatever else she does with her fly-by-night businesses, she should be here. And so should every other row office candidate.
Well, what other row offices aren't here?
What's
But
that?
you said you took a list of the thing, what other row offices aren't here?
This morning?
Yeah.
Bridget wasn't here, Ann wasn't here, the DA wasn't here, Boots wasn't here yet when I went by.
I was at Penn State
I don't need any excuses, he's asking me a question, I'm just telling you. There were 6.
I was
So,
on duty at Penn State, sorry.
6 elected officials, they should all be held accountable or make it hourly. This is ridiculous. I don't understand how you can't hold these people accountable, and then you are against making it a part-time job. You know, if Sharon's the only one here that's full-time, she's the only one that I see here more than pretty much every time I'm here, then make hers a different salary, and you can do that. They don't have to be right across the board, because they're not right across the board now. Not everybody makes the same amount in those row offices. They definitely don't.
I only think one is different, if I'm correct.
The commissioners are different,
Commissioners are different, but there's
and
only one
Register of
office
Wills is
that's high-
different.
That's higher.
Exactly, so they don't have to be right across the board.
There's one that is higher, but it's because it's 2 offices.
Okay,
Office
then
for
combine,
Register of Wills.
combine clerk of courts and pathonetary, and see how that all trickles down, everybody gets what they deserve. I highly encourage that the next round, you treat them the way they're being treated, and make them part-time positions. It's absolutely ridiculous, 100,000 a year.
Okay.
Lastly, the homestead, you brought that up about being voted on, or being advertised.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that, number one, you had to be told that this predetermined ratio wasn't done properly, and then you scramble to do that, and then you just have to sneak something in to make it look good, so then to the taxpayers, you could say, well, we're giving you as a Homestead Act $80, you know, blah, blah, blah. So that overshadows your major screw-up with the 50 to 100,
There wasn't
and the
a
people
major
don't.
So,
So,
I think
okay,
there was, but-
okay, Larry, if this was on an RFQ, okay, it was clearly on an RFQ, Tim Barr said it was. That was predetermined by the county prior to you. Somebody sat down, Mr. Bender, previous commissioner, sat down and said, we're gonna put that on the RFQ at 100%. That's done illegally because it was never voted on at 100%.
Right.
Okay, so it is a violation of the Sunshine Law. Mr. Rice might wanna look into it because there will be complaints filed.
Okay.
It's 100% illegal. When I brought it up last week, what did Paul Dottie do? He wanted to shut Boots down quicker than he could, and he wanted to shut me up quicker than he could. Because he knows it's 100% illegal. You cannot do it the way you're doing it. So you better watch that this whole reassessment doesn't go by the wayside on the faulty handling of this predetermined ratio. And you can roll your eyes all you want. I'm glad you can roll yours, because Boots was just sleeping about 5 minutes ago that I was pointed out to. So,
Knock it off, Jeff. Grow up.
wait, grow up? How about you wake up?
Grow up.
People in the audience, excuse me.
Stop.
Excuse me,
Okay.
excuse me. People in the audience pointed it out to me. Everybody else turned their page and you were still snoozing, and then you woke up like this, you jumped. So,
Okay.
I have it on video, we'll look back and I'll share it
Okay,
today.
Stop.
So again, we overshadow the negative with a positive to try to put it on the taxpayer.
No, I think the 20,000 thing is a good thing to do.
It is, but,
Okay.
okay, but if it can only be done during the reassessments, why wasn't, excuse me, why don't you shut up a minute?
No, now stop, Jeff.
But no, he keeps interrupting me. My time's not up, okay? You finally woke up, you don't know how long I talked for.
Jeff.
Why was that not
It is,
done?
but Finish your statement.
Why was that not done if it was so important, it can only be done during the reassessment? Why wasn't that done in the beginning,
The 20,000?
the homestead? Why is it just brought up now?
You have to do it at a certain point before we go to the formal notices.
So what's the time frame on that?
So once it's approved, it'll go beyond the formal notices in July. When do the formal notices go out? July 1st? So it's on time to go on to the formal notices so people can see
So
it.
what is the guideline that you're telling me that you're forced to do it at this time? What is it?
It was just, it's part of the time frame that you have to do it in, so it's to be able to go on the.
But what is that time frame? Is it 90 days from this, 100 days from this?
Yeah, it's whatever it is. It's, you have to advertise it now. It has to have so long to be voted on.
Can you get me that time frame?
And then I'll find out what
Okay,
it is. But
all right.
they said it just so it can go out by, the time frame is just so it's done before.
Right, I'm
so
just
we
curious
follow
what the date,
formal
what the
notices.
timeline is.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Any other public comment for our board?
Motion to adjourn.
No, nobody's telling yet.
Sorry, no, sorry.
You slept through one, because of where you're at. You wanna take a
Stop.
motion to adjourn?
I'm confused.
So much.
Oh, my God.
guys always talk about the 1620 stuff, so, and I understand the elected officials, they can do whatever they want, I guess, whatever. But what about their first deputies? Who do they fall under?
The 1620 is they have complete control over their office to hire, fire, and discipline.
Well, if they're not here, they don't know if their first deputies are here,
Well, that's,
why can't you guys step in and say, or who sets their salaries? The first deputies?
the salary board sets the salaries. But the
Why can't
first
you-
deputy is appointed by
Yeah, appointed by them, but
the,
why
it's an
does that
appointed
have to be a
position.
salary position? Why can't
But
that
they're
be
union
hourly too?
Right? Hold on, they're union too, I think, right?
No.
No, that's an exemption.
Deputies are at-will employees.
Okay, are all at-will employees, the first deputies.
So why can't you just make them hourly positions?
I don't know if can or can't.
Can't you?
salary.
It's a salary. But who sets that? Like, the county obviously pays it. So, I mean, these people are ripping,
not paid very high right now.
Sharon, rethink that a little bit.
Whatever.
Some of
Anyway,
them take a pretty good
yeah,
salary,
um, anyway, why can't you make the row offices hourly? Like, you have to punch a time clock, and can't you do that?
I don't believe so, no.
Why not?
I don't know,
Look it up and see.
I'll find out.
Dave, I don't think you're, incompetent or whatever was said earlier. I think you're a good lawyer, so. I know you took your glasses off, got a little upset, but I think you're okay. I always liked you. Anyway.
You'll sleep better tonight, won't you? Doug likes you. You're in good shape. I couldn't resist.
Thank you.
I couldn't resist.
I don't care if he sleeps better or not, but I always thought he was a good lawyer, so the comment was made that he's not, you're, I don't know, you know what I'm
He's a
talking
good
about.
lawyer.
You're all right, probably forgot about it, but yeah, these people not showing up, it's ridiculous. If I didn't show up for work and was getting paid for it, I'd be arrested. These people should be like investigated or something. Linda's at her doing property transfers all day long, and while she should be here, while people are pushing cash across the table that shouldn't be getting pushed across, and she's allowing it to happen, and that's transfer tax money that's
Pushing what across the table?
cash. Like people
Oh,
are
I thought you
people
said
are people are
tax.
going to our office and saying, "Hey, I bought this for
Okay.
20,000," and they actually bought it for 50 and handed 30,000 across the table in front of her, and I mean that's ripping the county, that taxpayers off too while she's getting paid here. That's transfer tax that could be going to municipalities. She's transferring places without people's permission and everything else, so maybe she should come to work here and give up her other job or give up this job and keep doing her legal things at her business, but that's it. Just hope you guys look into maybe hourly and make people punch the clock, like most people do it.
Any other public comment for salary board?
Melinda Dybert, North Manheim Township. Just to reiterate the previous comments, I think it speaks volumes when our Board of Commissioners is not willing, you guys are not willing to come out on the record and issue a public statement that you are in favor of the county row officers working at least a minimum number of hours. I understand that they're independently elected.
Just like your office was, just like you were, when you were.
Right, and guess what? I showed up to do the job, just like Sharon is doing as county controller. I have no problem with Sharon. I would have to say she's probably one of the only ones who shows up on a regular basis to do her job. Let's look at all the other row offices, including the one who is a double office holder as Register of Wills and Clerk of the Orphans Court. She makes more, does she not? Her salary is more than the other row officer. Sharon, you would know since the checks come out from your office. Yep. So she's making more and what? Shows up less than anyone else. You guys can come out on the record stating that you do not agree with how she is functioning in her office, but you choose to sit there silently and not come out and issue that statement. I'm telling you what, we're going to beat that like a drum from now until next election, because everybody else is willing to sit on their hands and not come out and say anything. It's absolutely reprehensible. And having these, as I call them, side hustles, that's unacceptable as well. You either come into the office and do the job that you're elected to do by the voters and the taxpayers of this county, or you say, you know what? I don't have the time and energy to do it. So I'm going to give up my county job and I'm going to go back and do what's actually making me my money on the side. Unacceptable. The taxpayers and voters of this county need to know who is actually coming and showing up and doing the job that they were elected to do. And as far as first deputies, I understand that they are appointed by the office holder, but they are under constraints. Even though they're not in the union, they are considered county employees. They can be mandated to serve a certain minimum number of hours per week. And believe you me, I have the paperwork to back that up. So if we have first deputies of any row offices in this county, and they're not showing up for at least a minimum of 32 hours a week, they can be catapulted from their positions. Thank you.
Any other public comment? About the meeting? Human Resources?
Yes, Commissioners, we have one item, in the prison set the salary for Orlando Verona Castillo as lieutenant. The rate is $80,000, the effective date is 5/19/25.
Make a motion that we put Mr. Orlando's lieutenant.
Second.
Any question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Controller Yekenship?
Yes.
Any new business for salary board?
Motion adjourned.
Thank you.